All right, so if you're like me and have a 2024 Super Duty that's a non-tremor, your passenger side hub is actually a dummy hub. This thing is always locked. So it's a thing that Ford started doing for 24. Won't really get into why they're doing it and all that, but there is a fix for it. You can buy a actual auto locking hub like the driver's side, which is right here. So you'll need this, and then the small vacuum hose, which I'll put the part numbers in the description. But if you're like me, even more unlucky, and have a February build or newer, they stopped putting in the vacuum line completely to attach that small hose to. So normally, this small hose would attach right here, and then you can just swap out the hub. But as you can see, this truck doesn't even have the hose, like where the passenger side or the driver's side has a small hose to hook to. So I looked at some diagrams, and this is what you need. This is the complete hose assembly for a 2017 through 2023. They all use the same part number, so it was super easy to find. It was about 30 bucks. As far as changing it, well, I have no idea. Looks fairly straightforward. I'm just gonna start attaching from the passenger side and seeing how this goes. This would be the part that replaces that end up there. As far as this, it goes up there somewhere. It's kind of hard to see. I'm just gonna kind of figure it out as I go, but I'm gonna get started on this right now, and I'll update here in a minute. All right, so I got the swap done. I didn't film any of it because it's pretty hard to see anything up in there. On camera, it'd be almost impossible. I'm just holding the phone. But it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna get under there and point out all the routing and everything. But this is the one that we replaced. So this was I guess just the driver's side factory line. This is the part that plugs up in the top behind the coolant bottle, and it clips down along the frame. And then there's a few of these push pins. So the only tool you're gonna need is just a trim tool, just to pop some of these out. And then this is where it plugged into the driver's side hub. So I'll show you where the connection is up here. This is the solenoid, I believe it's called. It's this line that goes down, and it routes underneath the bottle. And then from there, it's this line right here, and it clips along this part of the frame and goes down. So there's a clip here, there's another clip down there. From the rest, I'll show you underneath the truck how it routes. And the nice thing is all the pins and clips are already pre-attached to the line, so there's really only one way you can install this. I had no idea how to do it. I just kind of started routing from the passenger side line and just lining up where the push pins go, because there's only one set of holes where it'll all work, and it was pretty easy. So let me get a light and some sort of a pointer, and I should be able to explain all this for you guys. All right, so bear with me here. I am laying on my back on a piece of cardboard. I didn't even raise the truck up at all to do this. You really don't need to. As long as you replace the four-wheel drive valance with a two-wheel drive or a tremor, you can actually slide underneath the front of this thing. Okay, so this is the small line we replaced. It was a separate part number. This was just a cap before, so we added this. And remember, this line here didn't exist. So I started at this end. Basically, it push pins in there, goes through that hole, and then from here we wrapped around the back side of the axle. So the line comes up right here. It push pins right here. So here's the oil pan, here's the oil filter. Actually, let me zoom out a little bit if I can. Nope, it's not letting me. Okay, okay, we got one push pin there. Then the next one is right up in there. Right in front of that bolt. You can see the shiny part, that's the clip. So here's oil pan, oil filter. So we're right here. Here's a differential. And then from there, the line snakes up in here. And now we can, let me scoot around to the front. There's a piece of the hose that push pins on top of the radius arm. It's gonna be right up here. And then where they all come together, there's a T, and that goes, let me get my magnet out, right up here in the corner. Back here is where they all push together, and you'll know when you pull the old one out. I just kind of follow that. You're just replacing it. It looks basically like the same part without the T that goes to the other side. And then from there, you have another push pin right up here. See that hose? There's the push pin right there in the side of the frame. And then it goes underneath the frame. So we're still right here next to the bump stop. And then here's where it curls over. And then it just clips up the side of this frame piece, whatever you want to call it. So here's a clip right here. And then there's another clip right here. It'll focus. Yep, right there. And then that's where we were looking from the top of the truck. So here's where it goes up over the top of the spring, and then right back there's the coolant bottle, and it plugs in from the top. So I mean, really, it's not that difficult of a job. This is a little tight. Oh, now you can actually see back in there. Hang on. Oh, it's gonna focus. Yeah, back in there in the corner, that right there where that T is, that is where it push pins in. There you can kind of see it. Like I said, from there it goes back behind the axle and over to the passenger side. So, and then as far as this side, the driver's side, it's the same. So that hose comes back around, push pins in the back of this bracket, then goes through the hole, connect your vacuum hose, and then we're in business. All I have to do now is swap out the hub, and we'll be ready to go. All right, so now we want to remove our center cap. We have our new hub ready. Here's the dummy hub. We are using a T27. We just need to pull out these three Torx screws, and then this whole thing will come out. All right, so our three screws are removed. This thing was kind of stuck. Used my little plastic trim tool so I didn't scuff anything up. It looks like it knocked it loose, so it should slide out like that. That's it. You can see it's just a gutless, stupid dummy hub. That's all it is. So now let's go ahead and put the new one in, and that should be about it. All right, you can see our new one with the guts in it. Comes pre-greased and everything. There was a, where'd it go? There was a red cap on there that held all the grease in and all the dirt out. So yeah, we're just gonna pop it in there and line up the holes and screw it down. All right, on the back of the hub, there is a pin, if you see that. On the old one, it went in that hole, which is a little past 6 o'clock for me. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back in that orientation. I'm not sure if it matters or not. Looks like there's just two sets of threaded holes, maybe in case one gets messed up, I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and pop it in that same way and see if it goes in all right. All right, super simple. It slid right in. I haven't put the bolts in yet, but you can see that's locked, auto. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it up, pop the center cap back on, and we're finished with this. I guess I could jack the front end up and test to make sure the hub is actually unlocked, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna work just fine. I mean, I'm using all OEM stuff, so I'm happy with it. This job was super simple. If I had to do it again, now that I've done it once, I could probably do this whole thing in maybe 20 minutes with the line and the hub and everything. You might get a couple busted up knuckles trying to fish that vacuum line, especially when you're up above the differential towards the driver's side. But overall, it's not too bad, and for the money, it's really not that expensive. So, yep, that should be all it. One more extremely important thing I forgot before you can call this project complete is make sure you throw that junk away. It's useless.